Hello, Year 4. My name is Teacher Oscar, and besides social studies, I will be teaching you also reading and writing. For this subject, we are going to use the Oxford Discover student book and also the workbook. You will be using these books with your English teacher, and with me, you will only use them to complete some specific parts that I will tell you. So let's begin with our first lesson. So for our first reading and writing lesson, we are going to focus on complete sentences. So let's see first what are complete sentences. Complete sentences always need a subject and a verb. So complete sentences are sentences where we can find a subject and a verb as well. We can find these in statement, questions, and commands as well. But the only difference for commands is that the subject is missing. So we don't see the subject in a command, but we understand what the subject is. So let's see our examples. We're going to underline the verb and the subject in the statement, the question, and then we will see also the command. So let's use the green color for the subject. The first one is a statement. Earth revolves around the sun. As you can see, we have a subject, Earth, and then we have a verb, revolves. So this is a complete sentence. We have a subject and a verb. Let's see the question. Is the sun in the Milky Way galaxy? Since it is a question, we begin with the verb, is, and then we have our subject, the sun. So this is a complete sentence as well, because we find the verb and the subject. Now we have the command, sit down. As you can see, we only have the verb, sit. So we are missing the subject, but we know that the subject is you. As you can see here, the meaning of the command is you, sit down. So a command is usually used to tell people to do something. For example, when your teacher tells you to sit down, he will rarely say, you sit down. He will only do that if he has to tell it to a specific person. So we don't use the subject usually in commands. We just say, sit down. Okay, let's continue by reading a paragraph, and we are going to understand a little bit more complete and incomplete sentences and also commands by reading it. We will also rewrite later the incomplete sentences. So the directions are: read the paragraph, circle 2 commands, underline 3 incomplete sentences, and rewrite them as complete sentences in your notebook. We will do this together. If you want, you can take a notebook and write down the sentences. And also, if you have the student book at home, you can also take it and complete the exercises. So let's begin. The universe is a beautiful place, a mysterious place. So the first one is a complete sentence because we have the universe as our subject and is as a verb. The second one was underlined by the book because it is an incomplete sentence. It is missing the subject and the verb as well. We do this, so the book wrote like this, in order to avoid repeating the same words and the same verbs. If you avoid this when you write, you will make your writing more interesting for your readers. If you repeat always the same verbs and the same nouns, the same subjects, you will be a bit boring for the people that are going to read what you write. So it is better to use also incomplete sentences sometimes. Let's continue. it has more stars that we can count, old stars and new stars. So the first sentence is complete. It, as our subject, is the pronoun for the universe, and has for our verb. But the second one, we are going to underline it. Why? Because it is incomplete. We don't have a subject and we don't have also a verb. Let's continue. Try to count them. As you can see, the book has circled this because it is a command. The book, the writer of the paragraph is asking you to try to count the stars. They are asking you to do an action. Our galaxy is the Milky Way. Look in the sky. Can you see a belt? So as you can see here, we have the first sentence. Our galaxy is the Milky Way, which is complete. We have galaxy as the subject and is as the verb. But the second one, we are going to circle it. Why? Because it is a command. Look in the sky. So if I say to you, look in the sky, I am giving you a command. I ask you to do this action. Let's continue. Can you see a belt? A milky white belt? That's our galaxy. The first question is complete. Can as a verb and you as the subject. But the second one, we are going to underline it because it is incomplete. A milky white belt. We don't have the subject and we don't have the verb. Who are we asking this question, or who is the paragraph asking this question to? Again, we already know that the subject is again you, but as I told you before, sometimes it's better to use incomplete sentences to avoid repeating the same subjects and verbs and make your reading and writing more interesting. Okay, and that's our galaxy. We have is as our verb and then galaxy as our subject. So let's begin to rewrite the incomplete sentences as complete. So let's go down. The first incomplete sentence was a mysterious place. So we are going to rewrite this sentence as complete. So we have a mysterious place. Here I'm going to rewrite it as incomplete so you can see it more clearly, but you don't need to do that. If you don't want, you can just rewrite the complete sentence, but we are going to do this together. So our incomplete sentence is a mysterious place. We are missing the subject. We are also missing the verb. So let's make it complete. If you read the sentence, the statement before this, it was saying the universe is a beautiful place, a mysterious place. So what is a mysterious place? The universe. So we are going to add the universe as our subject. And then our verb is a mysterious place. So our complete sentence will be the universe is a mysterious place. Let's continue with the second incomplete sentence. Old stars and new stars. So this is incomplete. So let's read the sentence before it. It has more stars than we can count. Old stars and new stars. We're still talking about the universe, but in this case we have used a pronoun in order to avoid repetition. So old stars and new stars are still referred to the universe. So it, so we use the pronoun to avoid repeating the universe, and then has as our verb. It has old stars and new stars. Our last incomplete sentence was a milky white belt. This was a question, actually, not a sentence, not a statement. Let's read again the question before it. Can you see a belt? So our subject was you, the verb can see. So a milky white belt. It is completing the question before, but in order to avoid repeating the same words, they just use an incomplete sentence. Anyway, as complete sentence, it will be, can you see milky white belt? Okay, so this is how you turn incomplete sentences into complete sentences. You add them, the subject and the verb. You can find the subject and the verb in the previous statement, in the previous question that you have read. You will find the informations there. Okay, so this was all for the workbook. Let's now move into the workbook, where I'm going to just give you an example of what you'll have to do, and later on I will post in the classroom these pages for you to complete them. You can print them out and complete them as a worksheet, or if you already have the student book, you can also do it in your student book and workbook, as I said before. So let's complete the first sentence of exercise A. What do we have to do here? Read, underline the sentence that's incomplete, then rewrite it to make it complete. So let's see the example that the book gave us. Sirius is a very bright star. Can see it easily in the night sky. It is also called the dog star. As you can see, the book has underlined can see it easily in the night sky, and then they rewrote it as a complete sentence. You can see it easily in the night sky. So let's do the same now with sentence 2. The universe is vast, difficult to imagine. So the first statement is complete. The universe is our subject, is our verb. But the second one, it is not complete. We don't have a subject and we don't have a verb. Difficult to imagine. Let's continue. It will take 100,000 years just to travel through the Milky Way galaxy at the speed of light. This is complete. So we are going now to make our incomplete sentence a complete sentence. So let's do it here. So we are going to rewrite it now. And so we have difficult to imagine. Let's read the previous statement. The universe is vast. So what is difficult to imagine? We know that we are still talking about the universe. So the universe will be our subject and our verb will be is. The universe is difficult to imagine. And this will be our complete sentence. Okay, as a task, I will post this page in the classroom so you can complete number 3 and 4. You will have to do the same. And also, I want you to complete exercise B. For this exercise, you have to read the text, then write a paragraph about an object in the universe. I know that with your English teacher, you have been studying about the universe, so you can talk about those objects like meteorites, you can talk about stars, whatever you have learned with your English teacher and you like and you want to talk about. Also, write at least one prediction using will, and be sure to write complete sentences. For the predictions with will, I know that you have studied them with your English teacher, so write at least one if you can. And we have talked about complete sentences before, so try to write complete sentences. You can read this short paragraph as an example, and you can follow it to write about the object that you will choose to talk about. Okay, so this was everything for our first reading and writing lesson. I will post the worksheets for you in the classroom, and also I'm going to post the reading activity so you can read it at home and complete the exercises. See you in the next lesson.